What is up, AfterBuzzers? Welcome back to another episode of Sweetbitter. Today we're going to be talking about Season 2, Episode 3, the last of the season. We meet a head chef, we meet an architect, and we meet some art gallery owners who are into some interesting things. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to our Sweetbitter after show. This is the second week, third episode. I'm so excited. This season is so good.
So amazing.
So good.
Love it.
As always, I am your host, Taylor Gates. I am joined by two amazing wine-loving foodie panelists. To my left, I've got Louisa.
Hi, guys. I'm Louisa.
And we got Chelsea.
Hey guys, so good to be here.
Gosh, so I'm so excited to talk about this episode. We got some interesting people.
Yeah.
We introduced to some new characters.
Yes.
We'll break down the episode, and then afterwards we also have a special segment where we learn some more about wine. We're going to educate ourselves, and then we have some news and gossip for you as well, so definitely stay tuned for that. Before we break it down, I want to know, what were your guys' overall thoughts of this one?
Dark and mysterious.
Yeah.
A lot of people visiting us from the past. We have the owner of the restaurant, Maddie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Maddie.
How dare.
I know,
No.
right? Don't fire me. Maddie, right?
Yes.
Wow, she's a tough one.
Yeah.
So I just want to learn more about her and what her vision of the restaurant and her expectations. But overall, dark and mysterious.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We'll learn more about her character too, which I'm excited for. But I thought the overall message is just to be present, be in the moment, and enjoy what you're doing now. Like you don't need to be 10 steps ahead. And there were so many metaphors that proven out between Tess and Will, and then Maddie and the tomato.
The tomato.
Yeah, the tomato.
The old tomatoes, old too.
Yes, be in the right. But yeah, no, I thought that was a really good message for this episode.
I totally agree. I feel like they're doing a lot. Like, I love the way people talk on this show because it's so, like, poetic and symbolic. And I think that this season they're really, like, not only doing that, but also pushing the boundaries. Like, we've been seeing some nudity in the sauna. Like, we have a Will storyline. And they really are just, like, finding their groove. And it's, like, a very, like, young, millennial, city show, which is
You
really
said
fun
it,
to watch so
millennial.
far.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, they're definitely taking up the next step in this season too, which they're really pushing their limits. So I'm really excited for the next episodes too.
Yeah, and sometimes it's hard to remember that it's actually back in 06. It's like everything's so modern. Our Instagram wasn't there at that time. Isn't that crazy?
Right.
At the time that the show is placed under, so
yeah, it is cool to like see it, back like a decade, but
Yeah.
also everything feels so relevant.
Yeah,
so it's
so
just really
relevant.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about Maddie, because I don't know about you, but I loved her character. I mean, she's definitely tough, but I thought that she was so fun to watch, and I love the introduction we got to her too with that song playing. Like, this show has such great music, and so I loved her just like eating her bowl of cereal in her fancy kitchen. Who did you guys think she was? Did you assume that she was like the restaurant owner, Louisa?
No, for 2 seconds I thought it might be Tess's mom.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Kind of a reach, but that's what I thought. I'm like, older woman. Who else can we kind of, relate to, or who else did we hear about? Tess's mom. So that's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew she was a special guest because that's one thing that they read in the spoilers, that there are going to be special guests throughout the season. So I was like, okay, who does she play? And then when she was just, asking Tess all of those questions, like, okay, when was the restaurant built, and who's this and who's that? I was like, okay, she is definitely an important character. Who is she? But I like the way they introduced her, saying, okay, who's the owner of this business? That. She's like, Maddie. Oh, you're Maddie.
I love the questions, like how many years does a steak have to age, or just something, don't quote me, something along those lines, but it just shows how passionate she is about her culinary life. It's exciting.
She's very smart too, and we'll get into it a little bit later, but she does remind me a lot of Simone, and so I thought that was really interesting to see both of them interact and see how Simone sort of thinks of her. But I agree, I loved her introduction of just like coming in and grilling her. I kind of assumed she was going to be like a restaurant critic, like a food critic, and so she kind of is. She's the harshest critic, obviously, but yeah, she comes in, she wants to taste the original menu, and it's a sort of like Devil Wears Prada situation.
Yeah,
I would say. Like
totally.
Howard is freaking out, and I kind of don't blame him. Were you guys surprised that he was so sort of like off of his game, or did you sort of expect it?
For a moment, I thought, just for a second, I was under the impression that Howard owned the restaurant. I keep on forgetting he just manages it because he does such a good job and he lives for that restaurant. I'm like, it's Howard as far as the owner. But he was so intimidated. I think he is afraid of her, respects her, was not ready probably for her to visit. It's someone who he looks up to. It was nice to see that he has some kind of heart. We kind of see him sometimes doing a few heartless actions, so it was just cool to see that.
Yeah. I would say with her, the way she just carries herself and her presence, it does not surprise me that he was a little nervous. And then I love her character because with Howard, he kind of reminds me of this jerk through the whole entire series so far, that he's like, I'm the best of the best. No one applied. No one needs to. I don't need to apply to the rules, basically. Totally. So with her, she puts him in his place. In that visit, I think she didn't want him to let him know because she wants to see how he's running things, without her knowing that she's involved with it that much. So I think that's really good. She puts him in his place. And
she does.
Yeah.
She criticized him harshly. She's like, the hostess stand has scuffs, like all of this stuff, which makes sense. Like if you own a restaurant, you want it to be like top notch. But
of course.
I mean, she's pretty intense about it. But I respected her for that. And I love that we see that Simone does too, because Simone's like highlighting the fact that she started this, right out of culinary school when she was 26. And so I really like that too. Were you guys surprised that she was such a mentor to Simone?
Simone is well liked by people who understand the hardships of life, and I think Simone, even though she's mid-30s and Maddie's above her age, they connect on so many levels. So I'm not surprised at all. Like, Simone knows all of the wealthy clients, all of the established clients. And she has the best one-liners. She has the absolute best quotes in the show. So I'm not surprised at all.
I can definitely see a good relationship between Maddie and Simone. And now after seeing Maddie, I see a younger Maddie version in Simone. So it really makes sense. Just the way she holds herself and her presence. It's like, okay, Simone definitely got that through Maddie.
I also think we're setting up this season to have sort of a Simone and Howard showdown in a way. And I think Simone genuinely does respect her, but I think in a way she's sort of using Maddie too to kind of like be on her side, because she wants something. She wants, I think, to take Howard down in a certain way, because we find out at the end of this what did I say, semester?
I love how you said semester.
Okay, well, we find out at the end of the semester.
School is out, folks.
I don't know where my head is at. We find out at the end of the episode.
Because that was college talk. You're on
fine.
it.
Yeah, that's where my head is.
Relevant.
That Simone actually called her, and it wasn't necessarily her choice to just do a surprise visit. It was Simone being like, hey, there's some stuff going on at this restaurant. You need to come in and see how it is. That's that shadiness of Simone coming back.
I was just going to say, she called for her to come, and something was off, and there's definitely going to be some kind of fight between Howard and her, because like Howard said, she never comes unannounced. She gives us ample time to get ready, and now we see how much respect he has for her, firing Scott. Like, we'll talk about that, but wow, just like that, you're out because of salmon and just...
It's her special salmon, okay?
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Well, the thing is, though, Maddie, I think that's the reason why Simone called Maddie, is because things were starting to get a little out of hand. Howard was only letting things slide with certain people. And I think with that whole salmon thing, she's like, no, he's getting too comfortable. He needs to know where his place is at.
But that's confusing, though, because Simone lets Jake do anything he wants. It's such a thing. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that Simone has these hypocritical tendencies.
She does.
I cannot wait one day to find out what it is between Jake and Simone.
Yeah, what is going on? Because she's still protecting him.
Such an odd bond that they have.
I agree. I think it's interesting, too, the kind of... it's a bit of a throwaway comment that Simone made, but I think it kind of does speak to the show a little bit, too, about maybe you're not comfortable with a woman in power. Because I see hints of that, too, of, like, like Howard is, like, using the fact that he uses Helen, I think it is, the girl who he fired last season and is now sleeping with. Like, there's some stuff going on, some like Me Too stuff going on.
Oh,
I think.
yeah.
So I think that's an interesting thing that they might explore this season too, especially with like Simone wanting to sort of take him down. Like maybe she'll use some of that, some of that stuff to do so.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's talk about Scott too, because he's such an interesting character, and he always has wanted to have more of like a quote unquote vision, for this restaurant and put things on the menu that they don't actually allow him to do at the end of the day. Were you like shocked that he got fired, and do you think that he'll be back, Chelsea?
Yes, he will be back. That he got fired, I was a little shocked. I didn't realize she was going to be that harsh on him. And then he took it really like hard too. He was like, okay, well, I'm done with this, bye you guys. So yeah, I think he will be back, but I'm wondering now, since he kind of realized how he got treated, how he'll come back as a character, because he was kind of harsh already, especially when Tess was starting last season. So now that he kind of, I felt like, got slapped in the back a little bit, I'm wondering when he comes back how he's going to be portraying as that character. So he could go one or two ways with it, but Howard has his back because he hired him back, and he's giving him a little bit of a raise too.
Yeah.
I was just going to say he's having him come back, but with a raise. So I think it's going to be a bit of an ego thing for Scott to come back, but Howard did admit, he said he is the best chef right now in New York, basically, with sushi chef or something.
Sous chef.
Something like that, yeah. And he said he said a sentence, he said subtle art, there's a subtle art in staying relevant, which is so true. He's like, even though he evolved the salmon just a tad bit, but that's what keeps the audience and the clients keep, coming back to the restaurant, because you're changing the food every time. You're not going to want the same seasoning every time.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like an interesting conversation too. Like, obviously, I'm not super well versed in the restaurant world, but it's
I'm not either.
Yeah, like where do you draw the line of like having the classes that work and like the old guard, so to speak, versus introducing new things, and like I don't know. It's a really interesting conversation, and like the old versus new of it as well, because obviously we have Maddie, who's sort of like the represents the old or whatever, and then we have Howard, who's trying to bring new things in, and Simone's kind of taking Maddie's side, and Tess seems like she's floating there too. So it's just like an interesting, like everyone's picking teams.
Well, Maddie likes Tess.
Yeah. Yes, which I really like
love that bond.
I love
that bond.
And even Howard, I think, is jealous because when Maddie was like, here, come over here, Tess, try this tomato, he was just staring Tess down and said, okay, you can leave now. Your time is up. So he's still trying to remind Tess, remember what your place is here. But Maddie even caught on to that because she reminded him, I remember you when you first started. Are you still doing that theater thing?
Acting.
Yeah, I think that Howard definitely has like a power complex in a lot of ways, and I think we see that, like you just said, like with him being jealous of how Maddie acts towards Tess. I did think the acting thing was really interesting though, because in a way it felt sad to me, because Howard did have these other dreams in a way, and I think he kind of neglected them for the restaurant.
He got stuck there.
Yeah. And they were talking about how Simone might get stuck there too last season, so I don't know. They're just setting so much up.
People move to New York to pursue their dreams just like people move to LA. Whether it's acting, singing, whatever it is, it's a big market. People want to just thrive here. So I think I'm not surprised that Howard did want to take up classes of acting or be an actor. Who knows? Maybe he got married and just got comfortable and was good at it. And I think, same with, do we know if Simone wants to be an actress too?
No, I think that her whole thing is the restaurant. But she went off to France for a while, I remember. So it's still kind of, we don't know exactly what happened there and why she's back.
Yeah.
We'll see.
There's still so much to uncover with these characters, which I really like about this series. So it just, each episode, they just give us a little. And then a little taste.
Well, talking about seeing and viewing and all of that, I want to share our news about AfterBuzz TV.
Do it.
Basically, you guys watch us, you guys see us, all the series and everything. We are the ESPN of TV talk, and we won't be here without your support. We are on YouTube, on Spotify, on iTunes, so you can watch us and listen to us. So make sure to give us a 5-star rating. Make sure to subscribe, tell your friends, comment. You know, we have a TV show for everyone. I always say we are kind of like a buffet for TV shows.
True.
And personally for me, you know, I got my start here in the industry, and it's so great to have a platform here where Maria Menounos and Keven have started together, and it gives us such a great opportunity to network with you guys, you know, also, but just to share our stories with you guys. So tune in, come in the chat, say hi, and share with us your favorite moments, and subscribe.
Yes, thank you so
Yeah.
much,
Thank
guys. It's so
you.
much fun. We all do other shows here too.
Yes.
And so we'd love to have you join us and
Yeah.
pick up a new show
The
to watch.
buffet, you guys, the
It really
buffet.
is. I love all these like food like
I
puns we're
know,
making
like,
in this.
soon to have wine segments, you guys,
Yes.
so stay tuned.
Very exciting. We also meet, in addition to Maddie, we also have a new sort of mysterious character in Omar.
Mm.
He's introduced when Tess spills a glass of water, clumsy Tess, falling down the stairs, spills a
Yep.
glass of water, all over his drawings. And he's, you know, I love her like very clumsy nature, and he's just like very cool and like suave right
Yeah.
Suave.
there. Exactly. And he also has a great quote. He's like, "What do you look for when you walk into a space?" What did you think
Ooh.
of his introduction, Chelsea?
Ooh.
Ooh. Really good. Honestly, I like how Tess like spilled the water on his papers, and then that's kind of how it got the ball rolling between them two. I knew right away between those eye contacts, I was like, okay, he's definitely going to be a character to stay. And I'm glad that they're bringing in a new guy for Tess as well, because I think Jake needs to be put in his place a little bit.
Oh, yes.
So that was good too. But no, I do like that interaction between them too. He's very mysterious. Especially when he's like, okay, I'll take the Cabernet, pour slowly.
Yes, and don't, you know, you're so clumsy, don't drop it anywhere. But yeah, I love how he asked those two sentences. When you walk into a space, I think he said, do you want to feel like you own it, or do you want to feel comfortable, and all of that? He just sounds so seasoned and experienced in life. You know, he's probably mid-40s. He knows what he's doing. And I love how Jake was so jealous listening to the conversation.
Yes.
And did we notice Tess went inside the kitchen and asked Maddie to make their special dessert and brought it out. And I think that's why also Maddie started to like her. You know?
Yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
trust your instincts.
Yeah, trust your instincts if you want to give.
knows.
Yeah.
That Tess is like very observant and like sort of keen on picking all of this stuff up. But I agree. I don't know that I trust Omar yet, just because I don't trust anyone in this show
Yeah.
ever, to be honest with
Yeah.
you. But he was very interesting, and I like that Simone kind of already knew who he was. He was like, he will change the way you think about sex, and they
God,
also have a
Simone.
history.
Almost a little
Yeah.
history to everyone. That
Yeah.
went around.
And I don't know, that's the part where I don't trust Simone, because they did have a history, her and Omar. So when Tess and Omar are now starting to become a thing, is Simone really going to be supportive over that, or is she going to be kind of second guessing their relationship?
She has dibs on everyone. She has been with everyone.
But like it just further complicates Tess's and Simone's relationship, because
Yeah.
they always are like going after the same people. They have a weird chemistry like of like themselves. It's just nothing good can come out of this, because Simone
No.
is so territorial in ways, but also you can't read her, which makes her scarier.
And she's such a great actress, though. She's
Yeah.
brilliant.
I agree. With Omar, I was thinking, okay, I'm feeling Tess and Omar, but then as soon as Simone is saying, yeah, you know, we had a one-night stand, I'm just like, oh no, this is gonna turn into something.
I did think it was sweet though at the end of the episode. She gets the address of this new place that he's like building or designing a building for, and
Yeah.
she goes and she gets to look out all over the city, and she does feel that like comfort and that quiet peace. And I think Tess is like honestly looking for that a lot of the time, because her life's a little hectic and she doesn't quite understand the city yet, because she still is like relatively new there. And so I thought it was nice, because she's always talks about how she wants to see the whole city, and so she goes to the place and he kind of gives it to her, which is really sweet.
And
Yes.
it's nice that she takes risks. You know, she has an address, and that's just gonna go.
Yeah, we won't get axe murder there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no
It's
worries.
you know, it's. I wouldn't. I'm just like that. I don't know. But I like how she wants to really enjoy the fruits of life. I love it. Whether it's heartbreak, love, yeah, anything that it is. So Go Tess. I love her character.
Someone who doesn't always do that, but tried to do that in this episode is our little Will.
Oh my gosh, Will! Oh, man, choking that chicken.
I can't. Oh, Will.
So sweet. You know, I'm kind of glad. That was really good advice that Tess gave him, saying, go out of your comfort zone. You know, do something. Don't be here in the moment. Because I think Will always plays it safe. He's like that sweet, reliable boy next door. And he really wanted, not to prove anyone else wrong. Because at the end, he lied, saying that he didn't masturbate in front of that couple.
$5,000.
For $5,000.
Why did he lie?
Because he wants to do it within himself. I think he just wants to be able to prove something with himself and not have a big show of it.
Man.
And who knows, he could have had some regret with it too.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you guys about that. Like, do you think... So I had a couple theories. Yes, I agree. Like, maybe it was because he wanted it to keep it for himself and not have it be a thing, like something private. Maybe he feels regret or, like, shame about it. Or I was thinking, like, maybe what we saw was, like, a dream-type sequence. But I don't know. I think it really happened, too.
I think it really happened. Yeah.
Why didn't they show him getting paid?
I don't know.
You think he didn't get paid?
I don't think that was the point. You know what I mean? I think the point was just for him to do it. And, like, the money obviously was, like, a good bonus, but he wanted to do it, like, for himself. And the money was just, like, kind of a bonus.
I don't think it was a dream. I think he definitely did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so too.
Prove it to himself more than his coworkers.
Yeah, because I think he starts off in a way wanting to just like prove everyone wrong in doing it, and then when he's actually doing it, as weird as it sounds, like I think he's like, oh my gosh, like
what am I doing?
didn't realize, or like I didn't realize I could actually be this person, because they always make fun of him for being like you said, the cute little boy next door, like she's like
that loves oral sex.
Yeah.
There you have it. That's what he's known for. He does that to women the first second he meets them. That's his signature.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe he wants to
step out of Will's comfort zone.
I mean, he certainly does. We'll go with predictions, but I wonder if we'll see these art gallery people again.
Yeah, how?
I love how they said, you know, we just take that energy back to our
marriage. They're so New York artists.
Oh, for sure. And they're all like holding hands, like when he's doing it, and then have like their wine. I was like, oh god.
Thank you.
It was such like a weird plot, but like it worked for this show. You know what I mean?
Oh, totally.
Like I don't know what other show this plotline could have worked for, but I was like, this makes total sense in this context.
Yes. Yeah. I agree.
Well, that pretty much, on that note, breaks down our episode, but we still have a lovely special segment. Louisa, will you explain a little bit?
So we love wine, we love drinking, and hopefully we're going to have a wine segment soon. So our special segment, Sweet or Bitter. Yay!
Oh, I love that. That's nice.
That's amazing. Next time we're going to do it in person. So every week we try to highlight a wine that they talk about, and also I love to test my girls here if they know whether it's dry or sweet or whatever that they think. So this week,
spoiler alert.
Right, today Tess was pouring Omar a Cabernet. So just a background on Cabernet. It's the world's most popular red wine grape, and it's a cross between Cabernet Franc and Sauvignon Blanc from Bordeaux, France. Cabernet Sauvignon is loved for its high concentration and age worthiness. So it has primary flavors, okay? So what do you guys think? I know you guys are wine lovers or wine drinkers. So when you drink Cabernet, or on the top of your head, what kind of flavors do you think it might have?
I'm literally terrible. I know I've drank this wine before, but I don't, I can't tell anything apart. I'm going to say it's drier, though.
Okay.
Yeah, usually red and dry too. There's some that kind of have a little bit of a sweet, but I would say more dry and bitter in a way.
Okay, so over here the primary flavors show it's black cherry, big, and it has a lot of spices, and black currant, and some cedar too. So all of that together. And also, one more quick question: what is Cabernet partnered with as far as food? What is it known for?
Pasta?
Cheese.
So over here it says yes and yes. All of the above, but also grilled meats.
Okay, that was gonna be a guess too. I was like, I
grilled
like a
meats.
steak.
Usually like steak. Yum. So
awesome. I'm down.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
We'll grab a glass after
I know.
this episode.
So thank you, Tess, for introducing us to Cabernet.
Yes, thank you so much. And thank you for introducing
Yeah,
us.
I'm learning so much about these wines
Thank
now.
you so much.
Honestly, now we'll know what to order at a bar. Some of this is like the red one.
Awesome.
You'd be like, I want the Cabernet one with the black cherry.
Yeah, we know exactly what we're doing now. Chelsea, you also have some news for us.
News. All right. So for our news and gossip for this week, there we go.
Thank you. We were waiting for it.
We were waiting. Okay, Tom Starridge, who plays Jake on the show, is starring in a Broadway show called Seawall /A Life. He's starring with Oscar nominee Jake Gyllenhaal. The production is set to open August 8th through September 29th. Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal.
I'm so sorry. Jake Gyllenhaal.
Gyllenhaal. It's a tough one.
This is a new actor. I love you. It happens to all of us. It's a long day.
Gyllenhaal. Sorry. Seawall is about exploring the joys and pain of both love and loss as the men recall past events involving those they love.
There you go. I would love to check that out.
Yeah.
He seems like a great actor. So.
Yeah.
And those two together, I think they would do really good on Broadway.
Yeah, and I love Gyllenhaal too.
They have both have that like soulful, like very theatery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
unlike
cool.
Howard,
Thank
who
you, Cherry.
Yeah.
make it as
God.
an actor.
Yes.
Howard.
Yes.
Sorry, Howard.
Sorry, How.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh,
Okay.
we also have some predictions for next week.
Yeah.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So much. I never know what's going to happen on the show, but Chelsea, do you have any guesses?
I think we're going to explore more with Omar and Tess, and that relationship is going to involve a little bit more. I still want to see Tess's mom, so I'm still hoping maybe next episode we can explore back into the first episode with season 2 and kind of get into that. And I think Tess is going to come out of a little bit more of her comfort zone and have a little bit more say in the restaurant, like she did with the desserts with Maddie. I think we're going to see her step up and find her voice a little bit.
Okay, so to add on to that, I do want to see Tess's mom. I want to see her background. I want to find out what's going to happen with her credit score and her credit. Are they helping her? Are they not? Also, Maddie, we're going to see more of her. I think she's going to come shadow the kitchen a bit more. I want to see her relationship with Tess. I think they're going to have a great bond. Definitely, Omar and Tess will hook up, and Jake is going to be jealous.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I see that,
That's good. Yeah, I can see that happening.
I think that Sasha is just going to continue sort of spiraling because we saw in the first episodes, not so much this one, but he's obviously struggling with depression.
Drugs.
He's not in a great place, and so I think we're definitely going to keep delving into that, and I think it's going to get worse before it gets better, unfortunately. And I think this is like a little bit more of like a long game prediction, but I wonder if we will see Simone manage this restaurant at the end of the season. I could see her pushing Howard out, and like maybe
Boss
Tess
woman.
becomes Simone and Simone becomes Howard.
Boss lady, let's do it. She
I
knows
can see
so
that.
much.
I'm excited
She's
to
ready
see
for
it.
that.
I love it.
Awesome, cool.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. I love talking about the show.
Yeah, it's such a great show.
Yeah,
Such
it's a really
fun
good show.
Little Sunday watch. We will be back next week, but before that, where can everyone find you guys on social media?
You could find me on Instagram at Chelsea Overocker and then on Twitter at Chelsea Overocker.
You can find me on Instagram at Louisa Sharamatyan and on Twitter at Lou Sharamatyan.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at alphabet_Ann and on Instagram at Taylor_Gates_, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.